In the latest anime episode, we saw Jinwoo, who destroyed Demon King Baran by punching him in the damn face after an intense battle. And what an amazing animation we got, perfectly capturing the intensity of the fight. So now let's see what happens next in the story. After the intense battle with the Demon King, the battlefield was now bathed in the soft light of dusk. As the shadow soldiers moved across the field, they collected mana crystals that shimmered with residual energy. A series of notifications appeared, listing Jinwoo's spoils from the battle: the Demon Monarch's ring, the Demon King's longsword, the Demon King's daggers, and the Demon King's horns. But the most important item of all was the purified blood of the Demon King. Jinwoo grasped the significance of the Demon Monarch's ring. It was the missing piece needed to activate his equipment's set effects, significantly enhancing his power. However, his focus remained on the purified blood of the Demon King. This was the key item he had been seeking, the final component required to craft the holy water of life. He had already obtained the fragment of the world tree by defeating Vulcan on the 50th floor, and the spring water from the Forest of Echoes by defeating Matthias on the 75th floor. Now, with the last piece in his possession, his goal was finally within reach. Now, with the purified blood in his possession, he could finally complete the potion. Essel approached Jinwoo and asked if he was all right, but he was already focused on the next step. A notification appeared, prompting him to confirm if he wished to craft the holy water of life. He agreed without hesitation, though a sudden doubt flickered in his mind. The crafting process depended on his intelligence stat, affecting both the success rate and the quantity of the final product. If only he had known this earlier, he might have allocated more points to intelligence. Essel reassured him, saying that he already possessed the necessary level to succeed. Jinwoo initiated the crafting process, and a countdown began, each second stretching into an eternity. The tension was palpable as he waited for the outcome. Finally, the notification confirmed that the item had been successfully crafted. A surge of relief and triumph washed over him. Jinwoo noticed that some of the Demon King's blood had been used up, and a bit of the world tree fragment was chipped away, but the spring water from the Forest of Echoes had been completely consumed. He realized that not all the materials were used to craft an item, only the necessary amount was utilized. Holding the potion carefully, he knew it had the potential to cure his mother's illness. This was the moment he had been waiting for, and he couldn't wait to see if it would work. Meanwhile, Iron dragged the massive body of the wyvern on his shoulders and deposited it at Jinwoo's feet. Jinwoo praised Iron for proving his worth once again, understanding Jinwoo's needs without any orders. With a chilling command, Jinwoo brought forth the fallen wyvern's shadow, summoning it with a single word: arise. A mighty roar filled the air as the wyvern's shadow materialized. Essel was shocked by Jinwoo's unique power. Jinwoo explained that while he couldn't turn demons into shadow soldiers, the wyvern was an exception. But now came the hardest challenge, one even more difficult than fighting the Demon King, which is naming the shadow. Even Essel taunts Jinwoo for being bad at naming, but he ignored her and named the shadow Kaisel. The majestic creature spread its wings and roared, ready for flight. Essel quickly pointed out the practical advantage of having Kaisel. If they rode the wyvern, they could return to her clan in no time. Jinwoo's mind raced with thoughts of their next steps. The idea of descending each floor of the demon's castle to exit was exhausting. He wanted to leave this place as quickly as possible. Essel excitedly mentioned that her clan would hold a banquet upon their return, and that her father would be very pleased. Meanwhile, Jinwoo realized he had not yet received his quest rewards. A notification popped up, revealing that he had obtained a top-tier runestone containing the Shadow Exchange skill. This skill allowed the caster to swap places with a shadow soldier, with a 3-hour cooldown period, which will decrease as the skill leveled up, and it required no mana, and also it was job-exclusive skill. Jinwoo was thrilled at the prospect of teleporting by swapping places with any of his shadow soldiers. Satisfied with their progress, Jinwoo praised everyone for their good work and told Essel that he is leaving. Essel asked Jinwoo if he wasn't going to attend their banquet. Jinwoo explained that her clan was on the 80th floor, which was too far from their current location. Darkness began emerging under Jinwoo's feet as he bid Essel farewell and activated his Shadow Exchange skill, instantly disappearing. Essel and the shadow soldiers were left in confusion and sadness as Jinwoo vanished. A notification indicated that the boss had been defeated and that the dungeon would soon be restored to its original state. Jinwoo successfully teleported back to his neighborhood, feeling a sense of accomplishment as he realized the skill had worked perfectly. He called out Kaisel and mounted the flying beast. As the night sky stretched endlessly above, dotted with shimmering stars and illuminated by the full moon, Jinwoo soared through the heavens on Kaisel's back. Meanwhile, at the Hunter Association, Woo Jinchul presented a crucial piece of evidence from Japan, a video captured by a satellite camera capable of detecting mana. Go Gun-hee explained that this video documented the first, second, and third search and destroy missions against the ants. As Goto Ryuji had assured them, all the ants had emerged from their tunnels, leaving behind only the queen and her guards. Observing the footage, Go Gun-hee noted that the ants seemed to be evolving with each new generation, likely due to their one-year lifespan. Despite the unsettling nature of this evolution, Go Gun-hee's thoughts lingered on the ants guarding the queen. In high-ranking dungeons, it was common to find a few beasts protecting the boss. His concern grew as he considered the possibility of the ants returning to their tunnels once they sensed their queen was in danger. Jinchul reassured him, explaining that jamming signals would be deployed to prevent the ants from communicating with each other. These special radio signals would confuse the ants and ensure that the hunters could focus solely on the queen and her guards. Suddenly, Go Gun-hee stood up, feeling a surge of mana waves from a great distance. Jinchul asked what was wrong. Still sensing the distant mana, Go Gun-hee wondered what was happening and urgently inquired about Sung Jinwoo's whereabouts. Jinchul told him that he was doing everything possible to get in touch with Sung Jinwoo. The scene shifts to a cozy cafe, where Baek Yoon-ho and Min Byung-gyu also sensed the mana waves from afar. Byung-gyu jokingly attributed it to an argument between Choi Jong-in and Cha Hain over guild shares. Yoon-ho poured another glass for Byung-gyu, who humorously appreciated the gesture and encouraged Yoon-ho to lighten up. Byung-gyu, known for his peculiar sense of humor, was the first and only S-rank hunter in perfect health to retire. Yoon-ho found this curious, considering the lucrative pay S-rank hunters receive and the rarity of someone leaving the profession without external financial support. Byung-gyu, sensing a serious tone in Yoon-ho's demeanor, questioned his resolve regarding the upcoming Jeju Island mission. Byung-gyu reminded him of the death of the late S-rank hunter Yoon-suk. Yoon-ho felt a strong sense of duty to eradicate the ants. Otherwise, the entire country would suffer the same fate. This patriotic sentiment from Yoon-ho surprised Byung-gyu, who insisted he had no intention of returning to the life of a hunter. Instead, Byung-gyu revealed his plans to become a teacher, expressing his desire for a normal life away from the dangers of hunting. But Yoon-ho clarified that he was not there to recruit him. He had come to say goodbye, acknowledging the uncertain future and the possibility of never seeing his friend again. Byung-gyu shared that he was preparing for the teacher certification exam, hoping to become a history teacher and live a normal life. He also mentioned that Yujin Construction was looking for experienced hunters to form a guild. They had contacted him and offered him the position of guild master. Since his retirement, many companies had made generous offers, but Byung-gyu said he was not fit for a job where blood is spilled. That's why he decided to take the teacher certification exam to become a history teacher, because he likes historical dramas. This is how a normal life is supposed to be. Yoon-ho smiled in relief, seeing his friend choose to live a normal life. There might not be many hunters who dislike fighting magic beasts, but perhaps healers are an exception since they do not engage in combat. The scene shifts to a quiet, dimly lit hospital room where Jinwoo visits his comatose mother. He steps inside silently through the window and approaches her as she remains in a deep sleep. His mind started racing with thoughts of the immense risk he is about to take. He knows that if something goes wrong, there will be no turning back. His mother might not be able to swallow the holy water of life, and even if she does, there is no guarantee it will cure her. But Jinwoo recalls the many miracles the system has performed for him. He remembers his journey from an E-rank hunter, struggling at the bottom, to becoming one of the most powerful hunters, all thanks to the system's extraordinary powers. Jinwoo decides to trust the system once more. He opens the cap of the bottle containing the holy water of life, gently slides his hand underneath his mother's head, and carefully lifts it up. Jinwoo's hands tremble, but he takes a deep breath and opens the inner cap of the bottle. With great care, he poured the potion into her mouth. As he waited, Jinwoo's eyes wandered to a scar around his mother's neck. The sight triggered a memory from his childhood. He saw himself as a young boy, standing in their small bathroom, holding a bowl of hot water. He had wanted to wash his mother's hair, but in his clumsiness, he had accidentally spilled the hot water on her neck. Despite being the one in pain, she had been more concerned about him. Jinwoo watched his mother closely. Color returned to her face, a sign that the holy water of life was taking effect. But still, she did not wake from her sleep. Jinwoo's heart ached with desperation and fear. He had sacrificed so much and pushed himself beyond his limits for this moment. He silently pleaded with her, willing her to open her eyes and come back to him. The weight she had carried all these years, he longed to bear it for her. Feeling overwhelmed, Jinwoo sat beside his mother's bed, bowing his head in hopelessness. Then suddenly, like a miracle, a soft, familiar voice broke the silence. His mother's voice, weak but filled with warmth, called out his name. She had woken up. Jinwoo's heart skipped a beat, and he could hardly believe what he was hearing. She asked how long she had been asleep, her voice filled with confusion and wonder. Jinwoo was overwhelmed with the flood of emotions. He finally managed to tell her that she had been asleep for 4 years. His mother, still trying to grasp the situation, repeated the time in disbelief. Her first concern was for Gina, asking if she was okay. Jinwoo, who was struggling to control his emotions, assured her that Gina was doing well. His mother thanked him, acknowledging that he had kept his promise to take care of Gina. Jinwoo was stunned by her words, realizing that she remembered everything despite her long coma. She then noticed his distress and the scars that marked his body. With a mother's intuition, she sensed the hardships he had endured. She spoke to him with concern, recognizing the suffering and battles he had faced. Unable to hold back any longer, Jinwoo wept openly. Tears streamed down his face, releasing all the pain and suffering he had bottled up for years. He admitted to her with a simple, yet heartfelt acknowledgement that he had indeed been through a lot. Jinwoo reached out and gently took his mother's hand, feeling the warmth and life in her touch. The weight of their shared burden seemed a little lighter as they sat together, finding comfort in each other's presence.